Hello everybody, this is Bird Brain. We are here for where we are nerdy for the birdies. The Eagles take on the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. Before the game, I really wanted to just talk about something that I've been thinking about this week and listening to various podcasts and groups like that within the Eagles community. I've kind of come together and really put together this idea of concept of really just what's wrong with this Eagles team. Why this team lost its last two games and why all season it just hasn't looked right. And in football, we talk about complementary football. The defense doing something that helps the offense, or one side helping the other side, or special teams getting a big return, the offense paying it off with a touchdown, like stuff like that. That's complementary football. The Eagles are they are just doing the opposite right now. And I want to sit down and break down the chain of issues on the team between all three units that are essentially making each unit look worse and making each unit's job harder, and thus hurting this team overall. So we're actually going to start with special teams. So the biggest problem with the Eagles on special teams has been their starting field position. They have had some of the worst starting field position in the league this year, especially off of kickoffs. Too many muffed kicks on kickoffs. They had just not really getting the returns necessary. We saw it in the Rams game. We saw it in the Giants game. I mean, right before halftime, the Eagles have an opportunity to tie this game. Tank Bigsby muffed a kick again, and then the ball goes into the end zone. If he takes a knee, it's a touchback. Instead, he returns it, and he gets tackled around the 10, and he wastes time, and he wastes yardage. And you saw Nick on the broadcast, he lost his mind. He was pissed. And I believe Bigsby got benched after that. We saw A.J. Dillon muff a kick in the fourth quarter, and it went out of bounds at the 4, so now the offense is backed up, and ironically later on that drive he fumbled. Just too many mistakes on special teams, and even on punts, Dotson hasn't had any muffs, but too many fair catches in my opinion, and he's not really the kind of guy you want returning punts. He reminds me of when the team had Greg Ward returning punts, which is, they've got decent speed, but that's not really their strength. Like, you want somebody who can get down the field and actually, like, get yards. Like, when Dotson does catch it and get yardage, it's not terrible, but, like, I don't know. My honest thought is, you've got Britton Covey on the practice squad. You claimed Xavier Gibson. Like, let's just talk about this asset management with special teams. So, we knew since you lost Isaiah Rodgers and Kenny Gainwell that you were going to need new returners, right? And we didn't have Britton Covey at the time. We weren't sure who was going to return punts. We weren't sure who was going to return kicks. We knew Will Shipley would probably be one of them, and then he got hurt. You traded picks for Tank Bigsby. You claimed Xavier Gibson off of waivers, which if you're claiming somebody, you're giving up a roster spot for him, and he's been inactive every single game. It's not like he's got to learn the offense or anything. Like, he's not going to catch a pass here. He's going to return kicks, and that's it. And my honest question is, why is he here if he's not returning kicks? Like, you don't have backup special teams receivers. I don't really get that logic. And before the season, you signed Britton Covey to the practice squad, and he's still here. Why is Covey here? You know, it's not like he's this big weapon on offense. Like, they used him a little on offense last year, but, like, it's not really, he's never really been an offensive guy. He's always been the special teamer. He's been a good punt returner when he's gotten looks. And for whatever reason, they're not using him, and I don't know why. So, they have to figure out these returns and give an offense that's already struggling better field position, which is a great transition into the offense. I've talked to death about all of the problems with this offense. You know, we've talked about the run game, the pass game. Everyone knows the problems. The offense is constantly backed up, and we saw this the most in the Rams game when, again, on special teams, they were muffing kicks, and it was just taking ages to be able to actually get the ball in a good field position for an offense that already had issues. So when you're starting backed up constantly, you don't have a lot of opportunity. This offense also isn't very good at first down. If their first down play fails, usually that kind of just ends the drive, because they're not really good in third and long. It just is what it is. So you're pulling first down. You have this inefficient, unsuccessful offense. You're not great in the second half. I mean, they've only had one good second half all year. They don't possess the ball very long. These are all problems with the offense. This is nothing to even get into, like, the issues with the run game and the pass game that we've talked to death. Again, you're backed up, you're inefficient, you're unsuccessful, you don't do anything in the second half, and you don't possess the ball very long. So the offense comes on the field, backed up, they don't do much with it, they come off the field, they punt, and now you're giving it to the defense. But we'll talk about the defense in a second with this problem. And the offense has got to find a way to sustain drives, and they have to find a way to be more efficient. I've seen a lot of people talk about the offense being predictable. I'm not overly concerned about predictableness for this offense, because the Eagles' offense for years has been predictable. That's just kind of been their thing. Their logic has been that we're just better than other people at executing it, and they have, right? When teams played us last year and the last few years, everyone knew that the plan was to run it, and the Eagles were going to run it and run it well, and that's what they did. They have to find a way to sustain drives. Too often, they're not good enough on first down, which leads to problems on third down. And if you're not good on first down, you can't, or second down, you get to third down, you're punting, the drives end so quickly. Whether it's not running into the ass of your center and not doing anything afterwards, or being able to complete passes or execute concepts on first down and get to second and short, second and medium, being able to consistently churn an offense. That's something this team has always been good at, and see them not be able to consistently do that is so frustrating. They have to figure out those problems, because now with the offense not sustaining a lot on the field and having poor field position when they punt, the defense comes onto the field. Now they're on short fields, so now they can give up a field goal relatively easily, and they can give up touchdowns. The run defense hasn't been good, so even, it's not like they're giving up 50-yard carries, but like, they'll give up 5, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 yards easily, and that's just successfully churning a drive, and then that can turn into points one way or another, and especially time. So now the defense is worn out, they're playing a lot of snaps, the rush contain has been terrible. They've given up way too many quarterback scrambles, and this has been a problem for weeks. The pass rush has been ineffective. They're not pressuring. The back end has not been as successful tackling or covering routes, too many blown assignments. So the defense is in tough positions, and I feel like it's starting to wear down more as the year goes on, because these guys are just playing too many snaps. So if we look at the chain from start to finish, you have the special teams giving up bad field position, the offense not possessing the ball long enough, and the defense not being able to get off the field. These are all things that bad football teams do. So there are things that this team could do to clean it up, right? There are things they can do to make things better, and I do think some of these things will get better. Obviously, as guys come back from injury, we will see improvements, especially on defense. I do think I've seen glimpses of things to give me hope on offense, and I do trust that this team, given all that they have been through, not just last year, but years before, understand the mission. And the fact that players are so urgent about it now tells me that they at least care. But again, it all will matter what happens on the field. So this is just a video to me breaking down the issues of the team, position by position. I'm just curious if, I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. So anyway, this has been Bird Brain. Hope you guys enjoyed being nerdy today. Fly, Eagles, fly. See you around.